Hiya, and welcome to another weekly review video. Oh no. Oh no, that's bad. That's bad. It's me, Tech Review Emily. You can tell by my advanced technique of holding the microphone and lack of social skills. Today we'll be reviewing Turing Machine by Scorpion Mask, the punch card computer. Well, let's hope it packs a lot of punch. Kill me. It doesn't work. It just keeps playing this gif of this man dancing. Stop dancing. Hello, hi, different person now. This is Board Game Review Emily. You can tell by my use of the word fiddly and my lack of social skills. Tech Review Emily's stupid. Turing Machine isn't a beep boop computer, it's actually more of a proto-computer, in that it is one. Because as we all know, a Turing machine is a mathematical model of computation describing an abstract machine that manipulates symbols on a strip of tape according to a table of rules. And that's what this game's about. Does that sound fun to you? Of course it does, you geek! Let's find out how to play. Turing Machine is a deduction game, where your aim is to be the first player to find the correct 3-digit code, where each digit ranges from 1 to 5. But how are you going to do this? Well, that's where the computer comes in. First, let's set this baby up. Give each player a player aid screen and a note sheet. Put the punch cards within reach of all players and place the moody machine tile in the middle of the play area. Ugh, same. The machine tile will form the center of your computer, with criteria cards being placed around it and verification cards allocated to each of those face down. But which criteria and verification cards are being used matters. Don't just be throwing them down willy and or nilly, you ape. The game comes with 20 pre-selected problems, with millions of others which can be generated on their website, each with a specific 3-digit code to find. The problems outline which criteria cards to use and their corresponding verification cards. Otherwise the computer won't work. It's just gonna get confused, the poor thing. Look what you've done. To make life easier, use the dry erase marker to mark which verification cards apply to which criteria card. And that's that! Who said making a computer was difficult? Let's play! Turing Machine is played in rounds where all players play simultaneously and ends when at least one player finds the code or all players fail to. Each round consists of 4 steps. Step 1. Compose. This is where you will compose your guess for the 3-digit code. To do this, you will use these punch cards, selecting a number for each color and overlaying them as such. The first number is blue, represented by a triangle, the second is yellow, represented by a square, and the third is purple, represented by a circle. And thank goodness for this symbology, otherwise my brain would explode during Step 2. Question. Now, using the code you composed in Step 1, you may question up to 3 verifiers. Pay attention! This can be a little tricky to get your head around. First, let's take a closer look at the criteria cards. Each card consists of a test. For example, this card is testing how the blue number compares to 1. The card will then show a list of possible criteria that the verifier is checking for. In this case, if blue is equal to 1 or if blue is greater than 1. If the blue number is 1 in your proposal, this is the criterion you are checking for. If the blue number is higher than 1, that is any number from 2 to 5, this is the criterion you are checking for. Now, to question a verifier, you will take the allocated verification card and place it under your 3-digit proposal, lining up these symbols in the corner with their holes. And ooh mama, just like that you'll find out there will be one hole with either a cross or a tick peeking through it. So cool, but what does that mean? Well, if there is a tick, your proposal has passed the test, and if there is a cross, it has failed. Keep these outcomes secret from any other players, okay? Let's go back to the blue compared to 1 criteria card, and say your proposal was 321, where the blue number is 3. If you were to test this proposal against the criteria card, you're essentially testing on whether or not blue is greater than 1. If your proposal passes the test, you have determined that this criterion is correct, that blue is greater than 1. This does not necessarily mean that 3 is the correct number for blue. It could still be 2, 3, 4, or 5. But it has helped you narrow down your search, and when coupled with other tests, lets you zero in on the code toot sweet. Step 3. Deduce. Everyone puts their proposal punch cards back in their place, and writes down their deductions on their note sheet. And once everyone has done that, it's time for Step 4. End of round. Everyone extends out their fists in a moment of tension, and on the count of 3 points their thumb downwards if you're still searching for the code, and upwards if you think you've cracked it, little smarty pants. If all players point downwards, on to a new round. But if players think they found the code, they write it secretly on their note sheet and check the solution. If they're right, they win. If not, they're out and play continues. And that's the game. Seems fairly complicated at first, But once you start and ease yourself in with some of the easier problems, you really get into the groove of solving these little puzzles. As long as one person playing understands the testing step and doesn't mind the possibility of being asked, wait, what am I testing for with this again? Over and over, it is far more approachable than it seems. It just takes a little patience. And patience is important. Each game is so snappy, only lasting around 20 minutes, and can vary in difficulty dramatically depending on your preference. While some criteria cards are like the blue compared to one card, others can look like this. Ow, my head, my sweet innocent head. So there's definitely something for every skill level and plenty of extra challenge to keep you coming back. But would you want to come back? Is this game any good? Uh-oh, confession time. I love having my brain bent by a good puzzle. It is just my jam. It may not be your jam. You may not even like jam. Maybe you're more into peanut butter, or maybe you don't like spreads at all. Maybe we're just two vastly different people who will never meet and never agree on anything. But we have this moment, and that's special. But I really do like the puzzle that this game presents. What criteria is best to test for? What order should you test those criteria in? What proposal to use to get the most out of your questions for the round? It is all incredibly logic-based and asks you to make streamlined decisions in order to come out on top. So when you do, it feels really gratifying. And the computer itself is mesmerizing. I have no clue how it works, I'm not sure I have any desire to find out, but the very fact that it does work feels like you're playing with something truly brilliant. However, as much as I like the game and as cool of a production as it is, there is something about Turing Machine that sits strangely with me. Playing competitively feels so isolating in this game. Apart from the end of round thumb ritual, there is no reason to pay attention to any other player in the game. Maybe there is someone out there who can take the proposals that other people are making and the types of questions they're asking and track them enough to make out deductions. But with play being simultaneous, that seems almost entirely impossible. You're essentially just solving a puzzle on your own and occasionally asking each other, have you finished yet? There are solo and cooperative modes, which I think suit the game far better instead of just sitting silently in a group, with cooperative mode being my personal favorite. Ultimately, Turing Machine is an incredibly clever game that makes you feel a little bit clever yourself. It is vastly more approachable than it seems, and for those looking for a fun, pure puzzle of a game, it certainly scratches that itch more than any other board game I know. 8 out of 10.